I'm going to talk about, I'm an artist, and I'm going to share my theory of change and how art is a way to shift power and transform our communities and heal ourselves. I grew up in Oakland. I'm the daughter of a migrant family. And in a lot of the work that I do, I've consistently fought for power, whether it was around evictions or around fighting for immigration reform. And my story is that as I was growing up, my parents' education meant everything to them. And it was all about math, science. You know, my parents didn't go to college, so I would go to Saturday Engineering Academy and to after-school math classes into summer. And I always knew I wanted to be an artist, but my parents said, we didn't migrate here for you to be an artist. And so I graduated from high school with a 4.2 GPA, got $60,000 in scholarships to go to UC Berkeley. I was like the model Latina minority. And 2 years into college, I got pregnant and had an abortion. And I was in the closet about my abortion for 10 years. And one thing I learned in the social justice space is that often in our movement, I believe that we are often stuck in the action space, and we're stuck in this space where we're often reactive. We're about the no, we're fighting against. We are only limited by what's politically feasible, by what those white men, overwhelmingly white men in Congress, decide that can happen to our lives. And what art has taught me is that art is about imagination, art is about possibility, and it's about us, it's about the yes. It's not just about the no, it's about how we can imagine our futures free of racism, sexism, a place where all of us have access to health. And that is what I care about. That's where I think the power of art is. So in 2012, I came out about my abortion 10 years later. And I came out in a way where I said, you know what, I'm tired of these politicians telling me what to do with my body. And, thank you. And I realized that, you know, this is not really about abortion. This is about shame and stigma, and it's actually about implicit bias. The same things that drive a system where we see black people being killed is the same system that tells women to stay in the closet, that they should have shame, and that their sexual morality is around duty, and that our bodies only matter in the context of reproduction. So as I came out, I actually became a national spokesperson, and this is where, again, I think that artists have the capacity to be bold, to be controversial, and also to transform people in a way that could actually shift the national debate. I believe that that's how much power is in what we do. And so I became a spokesperson. I was in Cosmo and Huffington Post, just always talking about abortion. But again, as an artist, I said, you know what? Abortion is limiting us to what's politically feasible. Let's think about our big imagination here. And you know what? I'm not just about the no. In birth control, when we talk about when these right-wingers are taking away our right to birth control, we say, no, we need birth control because we don't want to get pregnant. Well, you know what? We need birth control because, yes, we want to have sex. We want to feel good. That's our right as human beings. And it's especially, I think, that people of color have this taken away from them, which is our right to feel joy. And so I then thought, okay, well, what is this bigger idea that I want to know? And you know what? A lot of you probably look at this and you look at a vagina. You think that's a vagina. You know, vagina is only one part of the vulva. Vagina is where something goes in and out. And it's sad that we've grown up in a culture of misinformation where a lot of people don't even know where a clitoris is. The clitoris, which is the only human organ that is exclusively for pleasure, 8,000 nerve endings, twice as many as a penis, and the sex education you get in schools makes it so that we are disappeared. And you know, if you wonder why we have a crisis where 1 in 5 young women at the university level is raped, it's because we have a crisis around sex education and we have a crisis around pleasure in this country. We are a pain-oriented society. And I think that especially as people who have experienced migration, people who are affected by inequities, that we have to begin to ask ourselves, joy. What is it how do we reclaim our joy? Because real liberation is our embodied liberation. And we have to ask the question, how do we feel pleasure? Pleasure is our right. Joy is our right. We are not just human beings here to be productive. We are here to feel good and to experience life in its fullest dimension. So my question to all of you today is, what is the pleasure that you want to add in your life, and how can we shift to a pleasure-oriented way of working? Thank you.